Hello and welcome to the Beacon of Light podcast this evening. I am so excited to bring you another evening filled with gratitude since this is the focus of everything that we're doing this month. And I'll pop this back up here on the screen. So, I want to introduce you to Patricia Fowler, and I'm so excited to have her here tonight. And she's going to discuss great opportunities and things for when herself was maybe stuck in a situation that you might not be able to find a lot of gratitude in, but we'll see how she pulls out this light for all of us tonight. But before we start talking to her, let's jump in to all of this.
I'm April Tribe Juke. Welcome to the Beacon of Light podcast. I believe we are all made with light, and light is hope. This podcast brings authors who write stories of hope to all of you. Your journey to be inspired and amplified by these stories starts now.
Everything that we're doing this month, and I'll pop this. All right. So we are back, and this is so exciting. We're so thankful that you're here, Patricia. So share with us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. First, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. I am Patricia Fowler. I am a single divorced mom of 4. I'm a legal assistant and have been for the last 20 plus years. I am a survivor of domestic violence. I am a certified advocate. I'm a teacher. I'm a licensed and ordained minister. I like to have fun. I'm a people person. I like the water. I like to swim. I have 6 grandkids. What else? I like to bake. I like to dance, praise dance, and mind dance. Yeah, that's
wonderful. I think that's great. So many great aspects of joy that really brings into that. And I think that gratitude really has, if you really want to find joy in life, just start counting those blessings, right? And joy just starts to pop out all over the screen. And I just think that is fantastic. So, Patricia, you can see running on the ticker underneath us tonight, she's going to talk about a book that is called Turning the Blind Eye to Red Flags, which has to deal with domestic violence. I know we talked extensively about this last month, and we wanted to bring that part in, as well as knowing that even in our troubled times, you can still have many blessings bestowed upon you. What do you think some of your blessings were at some times that were tough for you?
My kids, definitely. My kids were one of the biggest blessings for me during that rough time. My mom, who is no longer with me, and my prayer life. Those were the 3 things that got me through.
Wonderful. That idea of really connecting with somebody like your mom, like your kids, and with prayer. Tell us about how you connect with finding gratitude with prayer.
For me, I think you have to take it in the perspective of, I always say, if something bad happens, I always say, look for the positive in every negative. So kind of I've learned or adjusted to, no matter what it is something good going to come out of it. I mean, when bad things happen, we're upset, we're mad, we may not agree with it. But then after the fact, I think we can always look back and see that something good did happen from it. So I try to keep that focus in my mindset that even when something bad happens, something good is going to come out of it.
Yeah, something good really can. And isn't that interesting? It's a perspective shift that really makes the difference of why some people can survive things and other people really struggle throughout their whole life or stay within that victimhood. When you find the secret of learning how to count what those blessings are and finding gratitude, the whole world opens up because you're no longer stuck in the cycle of negativity. You really can find something out there, even if it is just a pinpoint of hope. It really can bring you through the rough times.
Right.
So, Patricia, you help a lot of people and give supports. Is that right?
Yes.
So, share a little bit about some of the supports you've given to other people with, in the work that you do, and maybe add some of that gratitude with, one of the stories you're going to share.
Okay, so I help people in different ways. One of the main ways is teaching and educating on domestic violence, because when people are educated and aware, they know what to do, they know how to help somebody else. I do mentoring of women in prison. I do court accompaniment, accompanying victims or survivors of domestic violence in court. And for me, that brings me gratitude, just to be able to go to court with someone and sit there with them while they're going through their trial, their case, or whatever. They may be scared, they may be not ready, or don't want to face their abuser. And for me to just be there with them and to comfort them and talk to them while we're waiting in court, while they're preparing. And even if the person doesn't show up for court, they're frustrated and mad because they feel like they're being treated unfair, they're not being heard, or the justice system has let them down. I am there to remind them that their day will come. They will get justice, and sometimes it just takes time. The court system is not perfect. The court system has failed people many times before, but my purpose during that time with whoever I'm with, the client, is to assure them that it's going to be okay, that they're not going to be hurt while they're sitting here in court, and I am with them all the way to the end until their case is over. Each case, each court hearing, I'm there with them to support them, even if it's just to sit there and not say anything, but also to talk to them to make sure they're okay, they're not too nervous or scared, and things like that. Assure them that if something was to happen, we're in a safe space, the police are here, the person won't get to you like that. And that's what gives me gratitude, to be able to do that. And then when the court is over, to have someone thank me for just being there with me, or taking the time out my day to do that for them. That's gratitude for me.
Wow, yeah. There is something about service that really brings through what a gratitude can be. And I like what you said. Sometimes it's just sitting with the other person.
Yeah.
Eh, they they probably haven't had too many people to just be
Yeah.
with them. And you get this moment of just it because it's not about ourselves, it's about them.
Right.
And how best
Exactly.
what can we do for them? And when we shift our focus to other people outside of ourselves,
Hmm.
what happens for you when you shift your focus like that?
It just kind of brings me a joy, or like a peace to me, because I feel like since I went through my domestic violence situation and I got out, and even though I've heard so many stories of cases that were way worse than mine, but just to know that my presence, sitting with someone in court, talking to someone on the phone, praying with them, supporting them, whether it's helping them fill out forms or mentoring or teaching a class, for me, that just brings me like peace and a joy to be able to do that. That something bad I went through, I can actually use it to help somebody else in a good way.
Yeah. It just blows your mind because at the time when we're going through these challenging pieces,
Hmm.
it's really hard to think, "Oh, this will be fine because I know in the future I can help somebody." It's
Right.
not quite that rosy.
Yeah, you definitely don't think about
You're not
helping
thinking that.
somebody else while you're going through it. That's for sure. I know that, because I know I didn't. But again, hindsight is 2020. Once you come out and you can look back, and then you can see that what you went through wasn't even really for you, it's for somebody else. Everything that we go through is to help somebody else. Now, if everybody do that, I can't speak on that, but for me, I know what I went through was for me to be able to help other women and young girls to avoid it. And that's why the book I wrote, and I feel like it's for the younger, uh, young adult girl growing up, ready to get in relationships, but they have to remember they can't be so fast to get in a relationship, not knowing a person, not knowing their background, not knowing what things they have endured in their past. The book actually gives you things that I saw, but I ignored, and had I not ignored, um, I'm sure my situation would have turned out differently. So I feel like I'm obligated to make sure I can try to reach as many women and young girls as I can to help them not go down that same road I went down.
Right. And giving that idea of protection and warning and don't ignore these things.
Hmm.
It's a challenging part, right? Because somebody's always going to have a choice. They're
Right,
going to choose to follow your wisdom, which I hope that they do, or they choose to ignore it. And the school of hard knocks called life is, it teaches or it impacts in a
yeah,
way that really, in our wisdom who've been through it, we're trying to turn around and say, there's another path. You can actually get further than we are if you just
right,
make that choice now, before it is too late. And, you know, it's really always up to that choice. And the choosing part, the attitude of gratitude, is part of the blog that you wrote. And
mm,
that idea of how we shift our attitude to understand how gratefulness can be really a part of our everyday life. What do
right.
you do to add that practice within your life?
Um, I think you have to do whatever works for you. Everybody is different. For me, I do a lot of affirmations, my prayers. If I have to write some notes on and put it on a post-it around the wall, just things to help me remember to be grateful, each and every day. Like I love butterflies, and the butterflies remind me that I was once in a closed in place, but that at some point God allowed me to come out of that. So I have butterflies all around my room, all around my house, on the walls, pictures, artifacts. Just butterflies is a for me is a freeing thing. And that's gratitude for me to know that I came out of that cocoon. Some butterflies don't make it out. I did, and I'm grateful for that. And that's why I always try to share what I've learned, what I've been taught, my experience with others so they can see it's a better way, it's beautiful on the other side. And sometimes some people will take heed to it and sometimes they won't, but we can't do nothing about that. Our job is to put the information out there, and that's why I keep talking about it. I'm going to keep talking about it, and then people will pick up. They'll get it gradually. Some will get it, but again, like I said, they have to get to a place where they want it, where they want help, where they want to be out that situation. So it's up to them ultimately, but it's also my job to keep putting it out there. They say some plant, some water, but God gives the increase. So if I do my part, they'll do their part, and then God will work it out.
Exactly. And I love how you bring it back to action,
Hmm.
because nothing happens unless action is involved with it. And
Right.
the action, the thoughts can stay thoughts for forever, but if we
Hmm.
don't act upon them, we don't make the changes. And if you
Right.
feel yourself stuck in any point, then you have to physically do a change, mentally do a
Yeah.
change. You have to take some action. Nothing happens if it's just only thought about.
Hmm.
There's parts and pieces to everything. And the
Nothing happens if nothing happens.
exactly. So the action to make things happen with a great focus in mind, really when you're trying to help other people, it just opens the door for amazing opportunities. I
Mhm.
know that like for November for myself, this is the month that almost 17 years ago on November the 28th when I left the domestic violence situation that I was in. And so November has a lots of interesting meanings. Growing
Mhm.
up, it was always Thanksgiving and family, and it was a very positive time.
Mhm.
And then going through a marriage where each year, almost at this November time, brought challenges, loss of jobs,
Mhm.
more impact, more hurt, and all of these other things. Well, I started to associate November with this idea of bleakness and
Right.
ugliness. And I just had to make a shift and thought, wait a
Yeah.
minute, why am I sitting in the ugly when really this is a time to be thankful? And I had to write out,
Mhm.
I'm thankful my kids can breathe today, because
Yes.
I wasn't happy with what they were saying. But I'm like,
Right.
at least they're breathing. So
Right.
I had
Because
to,
it could be different. It,
yes,
it it could be worse. They
ugh,
could not be breathing. They could not be.
exactly.
Thank God that's not the case.
Right, right. I had to whittle it down to those first steps, and a little more flow started to happen, and then I kind of ran into a wall like that's all I can do right now, but that's okay. It was
Mhm.
enough. It was a start. And to
Baby
change,
steps.
yes, yes, those
Baby
baby
steps.
steps. Once I started to change with action, my Novembers began to bloom again. And it
Mm.
is a beautiful time of year and that opportunity to really be grateful. And Thanksgiving has become one of my favorite holidays because there isn't an
Yeah.
expectation. It is really a point of gratitude.
Yes.
Families together, we can talk about our beliefs, our hopes, and talk
Yes.
of Christ
Thankfulness.
and thankfulness. And there's
Mhm.
just a point where there isn't any commercialism into this. It just allows for hope to shine. And when
Mhm.
I got to that point, took a while. I wasn't
Oh
the very
yes.
next November. It took a minute, but I got there only with the action
Right.
behind it.
It's a
Because
process.
yes,
It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And for each person that has experienced domestic violence, is different. It's different. For me, after my first time publicly speaking, it was 14 years before I could like talk about it without crying out of hurt. If I cried, it wasn't out of hurt, it was out of gratitude that I came through all of that, that I could share what I went through with somebody else and not feel ashamed. So it was gratitude that I had got to that point where my hurts were no longer higher than my healing was. You had to get that healing higher than those hurts. And when you get to that point, then each day makes a difference. Like you said, those baby steps. Today I can talk about it without crying. Tomorrow maybe I can't. But one day at a time is how you deal with it. One day at a time.
that's right. And that's also a wonderful opportunity that each 24-hour cycle that we are given,
Mm-hmm.
you have an opportunity to work it a little bit more. Even if it's just 3 minutes,
Yeah.
you're able to
Yeah.
do a little bit further than you were. And I think along journeys, if we really look at the baby steps and the progress and you take a look back, you can see your distance. You can
Mm-hmm.
see how far you've come, and you just keep the perspective and allow for the falls to happen, allow for the times to sit on the sideline for a few
Yeah.
minutes, and it's okay.
Yeah,
There
because it's gonna happen.
it's gonna
No
happen.
journey is straight or a smooth ride. Everybody's journey has ups and downs, turns, circles, twists. You might go back a little bit, but the whole idea is to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Just because if you're learning how to ride a bike and you fall off, you're not going to say I'm never going to ride a bike again because you fell off. You're going to get back up and try it again, and you probably will fall again, but then you may not. But if you don't get up, you're never going to know. So you take those baby steps, whatever it is. If you have to sometimes I will talk to myself. You have to do whatever you have to do that's going to keep you focused on your healing and keep you moving forward. Because we know our mind is a terrible thing to waste. But if we sit and ponder on something, on the negative, well, I was here, I was this, I was feeling so, blah, blah, blah. No, tell yourself, I see myself doing this. I'm out on the beach. I'm working a great job. I'm traveling. I'm a great mom. I'm doing this. I'm cooking. I'm doing all the things I love. That's what you feed yourself. All of those good things, not to negate the bad things. They happened and we know that. But we don't have to focus on those things. You focus on the good things. What do you want to happen now since you made it away from those bad things? You have to decide. But if you let your mind focus on the negative, that's what you're going to get. That's what
Yeah.
you're going to get. Focus on the positive out of that negative.
Yes, exactly. And I love what Linda says. She's just following it right along. The baby steps, see the distance, how far you've come. Absolutely. Thank you, Linda, for being here. Thank you, Pam, for also giving good support throughout the podcast. We really, really appreciate all the wonderful things that you're here to say with us. So, Patricia, in learning how to do this gratitude, what do your kids do now? Are like, how do they look on life?
They definitely look at it differently. My kids have seen me struggle so much, but now they look at me and they tell me how proud of me, how proud they are of me for just seeing the things I do. Like when they see me write a new book, or if they see me have an event, or see me on the Zoom, mom, you got another video or training or whatever. They support me in everything I do and are really proud of me for just not giving up. Even though they've really seen me struggle, they're proud of me for not giving up, and that has taught them you don't ever have to give up. It doesn't matter how low you get, and we've been low as a family because we're all we have. Both my parents are deceased. My kids don't really interact with their grandparents, so it's me and them. We have each other, but they watch me, and I know they watch me. They learn from me, and I try to instill in them that they can do whatever they want to do, whatever they want to do. And they see their mom graduate from college at 40 something years old, they can do it too. It teaches them. Yes, we couldn't afford to go right out of high school, but it's never too late to do anything you want to do. And they see me now doing all the things I said I wanted to do, like traveling. Mom, you going again? Yep, I'm going again. I love traveling. And when they see me do that and they know it makes me happy, that makes me happy. And I'm grateful that they can see me enjoying life now, not just sitting around like an old fogey or a bump on the log. Now they see me lively, they see me active, they see me going. Mom, slow down. No, why? Why do I need to slow down? I'm living life right now. I'm not just existing. So I'm grateful that they witnessed this stuff with me and that they are part of it. They help me with my books. They give me input. My oldest granddaughter actually gave me input for my last book, and I think my first one. So I enjoyed that they are seeing me reap some of the benefits of the negativity that I have gone through.
Wonderful. And the example of that really brings in just a hope for themselves, right? To know that if
Yes,
mama can, I can.
yes,
And I'm sure they are, you know, exercising some of these things, tucking it in and out with the grandkids as well, to
yep.
just be like, wow, we're in it and we're gonna go through it and we're gonna
Mhm.
get it done. Because if mom can and if grandma can, well then I can. And
Exactly.
it is a fantastic thing. I love what she says here, redeeming the time that was taken.
Yes.
Wonderfully said.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Great.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So, as we're closing up for this evening, what would you like to share with the audience tonight?
The main thing I would like to share is that if anyone is going through domestic violence or know someone that is, the biggest thing you can do for them is be supportive. Be supportive. And when I say supportive, that can even mean if you know somebody that's in a situation and they do not want to get out, support them in that decision because it's ultimately up to them. But long as they know that you are there for them when they have had enough and they're ready to get out, they will lean on you. But it's nothing worse than you're ready to break through and you have nobody to turn to. Nobody to turn to. Comfort them, assure them, let them know it's okay. Let them know you don't want to see them hurt. Let them know you're here for them, whatever it is you can do. And at the same time, you may not agree with their decisions, but if you are their real friend, you're going to support them until they get to the point where they say, enough is enough. Trisha, I'm ready to get out now. Can you help me? And that's when you step in. Just letting them know you're there for them is a major weight to some people. And people might be like, well, I can't do nothing. She want to stay with him. She dumb or whatever. No, she's not dumb. She's doing what she has to do to survive until she can do better. And that's
Right.
what we as women do when we're in domestic violence relationships. We stay there until we can do something better. We're trying not to get killed. So if that means walking on eggshells, keeping our mouth shut to avoid getting beat up or whatever it takes, we're going to do that until we know better on how to get out. And if you're my friend, you're going to support me in that until I feel like I'm in a place right now that I can get out. Do I even know where I'm going to go once I get out? Do I have any money put away for when I'm ready to go? So you can be that friend and let your friend know you're going to get them a prepaid debit card with some money on it. So when she says she's ready to leave, she can go stay at a hotel and sleep peacefully until she figure out her next move. See, we have to be able to support people where they are, not dependent on our terms or what we want. Yes, we want to see them out of it, but it's only when they are ready that it's going to happen.
That's
So
right.
be supportive however you can without being pushy or negative.
Agreed. You want to love, 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 and not judge, judge, judge. They
Yes.
know when they're ready. It's just like a first responder. They will show up when the time is right. If you're right
Mm-hmm.
there and they're ready, no
Yeah.
questions asked. No
Yeah.
fireman comes into the building like, "Who started this fire? Who
Right.
burned that? Who burned this down? Come on, confess." No, they're just
Right.
right there.
He's
They're
going to
going to
see
help in
who
the
needs
moment.
help
Who needs
and
help?
do what he needs to do from that point on. Assess the situation. That's what he's going to do.
Right. So, with that amazing knowledge and with the gratitude we've felt tonight, thank you so much, Patricia, for sharing this with us. And if you want to go ahead and grab her book, you can email her, right, at this email
Yes.
that's running on the ticker to grab her book called Turning the Blind Eye to Red Flags. And she has other books as well. So, contact her at that address below, and she is more than willing to help and give support with that. Thank you all who've been here tonight. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. It says Facebook user. I don't know who that is, but thank you. Thank you for being a part of this tonight. And we are so grateful. We will catch you again next week. Everyone have a lovely evening. And we will see you next week for another point of gratitude. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Good night. Bye bye. Thank you, April.